Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. I hope you're all having an amazing day. We're starting off with the white pieces against an 1869 from Germany. We have an e4, e5 here. Let's go for the Scotch. Or not. Or not. We have a Philidor here. Philidor is practically the same as the Scotch. It doesn't go into the main lines, whatever you consider the main lines of the Scotch. But you play it a very similar way. You break with d4 most of the time, basically. You get this knight to c3 if the knight goes to f6. And they usually have a similar setup. The reason is not generally considered particularly good is the Philidor. It's not bad, but it's not like a top tier opening, you know. It's because you're blocking in this dark square bishop, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But it's not something you want to be aiming for out of the opening, I don't think. We're going to play bishop c4 here, I think. Both stopping potential d5 and preparing castling as well. And we want to get this rook on e1. We could potentially also leave it on f1 as well in order to encourage an f4 eventually. Especially seeing as how this bishop's no longer able to come to this diagonal that gives the checks. a6, I'm considering an a4 here. Very similar to the two knights Caro-Kann, looking to prevent any b5 ideas, which frees up the light squared bishop as well as kicking away our light squared bishop. A lot of the time this bishop does move away anyway, but I think for now a4 isn't a bad move. c5, 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 c5. I think we're happy with c5. Especially with a b5 here. Just kicking our knight out, really. The problem is it makes this backwards pawn, so as long as we're like stable in the center, we should be okay. I probably just want to go back to f3 here. Potentially look at an e5 break is a possibility, but it's not something I particularly want to rush. I think I'm getting this knight to d5. And taking with probably the bishop rather than the queen, and then just playing like a c3, sorry, limiting the squares of this knight potentially. I think that would be okay. They go for that. That is a thing they can do. I probably was a bit stupid with that one. Okay, no, that's fine. You know what we'll do? We can play rook e1 here, potentially. And use that to develop, maybe, with tempo. Okay. Okay, let's not panic. Okay. And let's take the bishop. We'll take the bishop. I'm worried potentially about d5 here. So maybe we go for a bishop d3. And we'll look at potential Greek gift sacrifices, although that's not a thing anymore, because of h6. Okay. Let's develop. Keep developing. Bishop takes d6 is the immediate threat. With queen takes bishop h7 check, winning the queen is the idea. So we're just trying to drum up some tricks and traps. Especially since I was down a pawn. That was very, very silly. We can still do this. Actually, yeah, we can. We very much can. Yep, we'll go for that. We got the pawn back. Hooray! Hooray! Yeah, I think that's fine. We got rid of their weakness, but, you know, we potentially get a second pawn here. After bishop takes c5. So I'm happy. Always love a second pawn. We'll threaten to trade off queens. It's probably a good idea. We have the bishop pair as well. So I think queen e1 here is fine. We're happy with bishop takes knight because then we keep the bishop pair forever, which is great for us. And you know how much I do love a good bishop pair. It's my favourite thing in chess, I think. Safe to say. We'll go rook d1 with the same cheap little threats of winning the queen. Would give up our bishop pair, but I think for a queen, that's probably worth it, right? Yeah, they're scared. They are scared. We can carry on with bishop d6 with the exact same threat. Yeah, it's actually not a horrible idea. It doesn't really get us anywhere, but it's not bad. I think probably a c3 here is fine. No, they're threatening rook d8. Rook d8 is not scary. Rook d8 is not scary at all. Maybe we just kick this bishop. We'll go c3. They're not threatening any discovered with this thing. We still have bishop d6 as an idea. If they go like knight e5, would probably just win the knight. They go there, looking for checks probably, which we have to be mindful of. They get this pawn. They're looking for check. They're looking to take this. If we take this, we have that though. Maybe just like a rook, bishop c2. Bishop c2. Just cover this pawn. Open up the rook to avoid any pins. I think it's fine. They check. We'll just move to the side. They've not gone for this pawn, which is good. Oh, they've got the bishop though. Oh, that's frustrating. That was silly from me. That was very, very silly. Okay. Well, we'll kick the queen. We'll kick the queen. Oh, this ain't good. This ain't good at all. No siree. That was silly. That was so stupid. That was... Oh. Yeah. No, I should have seen that from a mile away. Aye, aye, aye. That's fine. Okay. Focus up now. Focus up. What can I hit? How can I make tricks? These knights are killer. Aha! We've got some back rank ideas, potentially. We'll try hit this knight. Rook b1 is a potential idea. They go there. So they're just going after this pawn with the mating threat. I have rook d5 as an idea. Rook d5, rook e8. Aha, I've also got forking ideas here. Okay. It's good. This knight's annoying me. It's very annoying. Okay. Rook a1. Rook a1 with queen takes with some back rank ideas. It gets the queen away from the pawn, but there's also the threat of if they go for that, they have to deal with their back rank stuff. So probably just like a g6 here. We get this pawn though. That covers the f pawn, and then we can potentially look to promote this b pawn. Is an idea. Is an idea. There was no rook d5 because the knight covers d5, obviously. Gosh, it's it's yeah. I've got no excuses. No excuses at all. We'll go bishop e4 and trade everything off. And hope this pawn is enough. Hope the pawn's enough to do something. Against the knight, I'm not sure. I'm not so sure. You're there. We'll play h4 and try break up these pawns so our king can get in. Potentially we could draw this. I'd really appreciate a draw here. Especially after we slip up. So we'll play h5 and get in through this way. Try go after this and then get this. And hopefully they don't get this f-pawn because that's what's stopping. Actually, f4 is a brilliant idea. f4 is a really good idea. That almost guarantees the draw, I think. Hopefully. They could have thrown in the check, which would have been really annoying, actually. Yeah, they really should have thrown in the check there. I don't know what. Actually, no, just f3. King f3. Yeah, king f3 is good because we're covering the d5 square, which covers that pawn. Cool. I think we've got this, fortunately. I think we have this. Knight there. We just go pawn e5. Get this. I mean, game's not over, but it's realistically over. You get me? I mean, there's chances. I'm not going to lie. It's not looking horrible for us. There is lots of chances. Knight there. Pawn there. Takes. King takes. Oh, are we winning this? There's no way we're winning this, right? They're fast enough. They're fast enough, right? Yeah, this is drawn. Dead drawn. Yeah. There's nothing we can do here. We'll just draw this. Oh, how we managed to draw that, I will never, ever, ever know. But it shows the power of passed pawns, I guess. Shows the power of passed pawns. Actually, quite an instructive game, I think. We'll go through it. And then I have to go. We're playing in a match today. I wasn't meant to be playing, so I'm not prepared at all for it. So we'll see how that goes. 83.2% accuracy versus an 83.5. Apparently we got a brilliant move. I couldn't even guess what that brilliant move is. Couldn't even guess, to be honest. I have no clue. Apparently we're 21,000 rated as well versus a 2150. So apparently we make a brilliancy somewhere. We will see. Usual Philidor stuff. A4, not really a good idea. Well, it's a good move, but it's not development, I guess. But it's not a bad move. Like you're making them work to get rid of this bishop. The knight comes back, knight there, and then we blunder a pawn there. Although technically it's not a blunder. Apparently, game's fine with it. It says it's an excellent move even. Somehow it looks like a lost pawn to me. It wants bishop f4 instead of rook e1. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. I don't know what the threat is. I guess knight takes and then you get this. Or knight takes, queen takes, rook e1. But then knight takes is also an option. Rook e1, get the knight out first. Bishop takes, there. Then rook takes, no, takes knight. What is this? Oh, and you get the exchange that way. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. There, queen there takes. Wow. So you get the exchange back. Wow. That's really, really good. Is that a brilliancy? Yeah, it's a brilliancy. Anyway, we didn't play that. We did blah, blah, blah. Looking to sort of distract their pieces a bit. Get some play on the center file, I guess. Bishop d3 with some check, blah, blah, blah. Greek gift, blah, blah, blah. Sort of stuff. This is a blunder. We just get the pawn back. There's not much else to it. They have to move the rook. At which point, like, trade off, and we get the second pawn as well. So we thought we were dead winning here, and the computer slightly agrees. It's plus 1.2, so not crazy amounts. We're up a pawn, rather than 2 pawns because we were down a pawn at the start. We look to trade off queens. Rook d1, looking to kick out the queen. Apparently, bishop takes here is good. I guess just opening up the king a bit. G takes, queen there. And you go queen c3 to defend this with sort of x-raying defending the f pawn as well. That's quite clever. And the rook goes to e8, hitting the light square bishop, but then you move this bishop back to actually block the threat of the light square bishop. That's really cool as well. Blah, 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 sequences, blah, 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 tactics. C3, not a good move. I think I was lost on what to play here. And I think that's a big problem I have. I get lost and I don't know what I'm doing. And then I play a stupid move for no reason, rather than actually figuring out the best move. Which was, in this case, just bishop d6 like we suggested. I guess that just kills the activity of the queen. Then you play like a b4 or something. And the whole point is this same tactic that we discussed with the check and discovered attack afterwards. And this, we lose a piece. It's just completely losing. Here you go bishop d6 instead, which is such a better move. I mean, queen takes pawn, they get the pawn back. But I guess you sort of play your activity, play the bishop pair, and hopefully you've got some chances. Don't know. Queen g5, yeah, we just hang the bishop. We just hang the bishop, there's no else to it. Somehow we get some counterplay. We check, pick up the pawn. This is apparently mate in 11 here. What? How is this mate in 11? I'm guessing like check. Then like check. I don't know. What is the mate in 11? Please enlighten me. I really want to know. So check, king c2. Oh, it was knight h5 as well. They give up the queen to stop delaying, blah, blah, blah. A lot of checks later, it's mate. That's actually quite nice mate, to be fair, as well. But they let us, they go for this, which still is winning for them. Still is winning for them. But they misplay it. I don't know how they misplayed it. They let us do this stuff on the queen side. This is still apparently winning, so nowhere near close to drawing. They let us get off f4, which complicates things. And apparently you don't even go for this pawn. You go king d6, which is wild. And I guess you bring your king around to cover this. But are you not letting me... I guess... Yeah, this knight is locked, but so is my pawn. So it's all about the kingside play here. But I don't see how that's winning. I don't. I really don't see how that's winning. We're going to have to play this through. King f5. So we do, yeah, e5. Knight b6. Oh, because you've got tempo shuffling between these two and I don't. Ah, that's the big idea. That's the big idea. Okay. Yeah, I see that. They decided not to, so they let me off the hook big time there. Let me get my king in. I'm thinking I've even got a potential shot of promoting a pawn here. But that's never going to happen. Not against the knight. Worst case, they sack the knight for the pawn like they did. And get a pretty safe draw. But they definitely are feeling like they missed out big time in that game. And to be fair, so am I. We were up a pawn. We had a nice position with the bishop pair as well. So it's not my best game. It's not my best work by a mile. But we didn't lose any rating. We didn't lose any rating. It was +0 for a draw. So no harm, no foul. We will get them next time. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye-bye.